Hey, sports fans, this is Robert with WTP Sports Dudes here live on this fine Sunday morning with my man Zaya. How you feeling this morning, Zaya?
Man, I'm good, man. It was a long. Hey, I stayed. I watched the 10:30 games. It was a long day for real.
Yeah, I tried to stay up in as late as I could, man. But after that LSU and Texas A&M game went off, I said, "Hey, let me call it quits." It was
Yeah,
time
it'd
for
be
me to
like it'd
go.
be like that.
Yeah. What you think about some of that action yesterday, man? It was some surprises. It was some good stuff. But man, overall, it was another good Saturday of college football. What's your
Man,
thoughts on what you saw yesterday?
college football just week in and week out, it just don't disappoint, man. Yesterday was exciting, bro. It's Halloween season. It was spooky Saturday for a lot of folks. You know what I mean?
Right, right. Yeah, for sure. And you're right. Saturday college football never disappoints. And it don't even matter if the games aren't high powered games, if they're not top 25 ranked opponents playing each other. It don't matter, man. College football is just that deal, man. And every Saturday, it's exciting. It's exciting. So let's go ahead and get into some of the games that we watched. We're going to go back to Thursday night to that Syracuse 13 at number 19, Pitt 41. So Pitt beat Syracuse 41 to 13. Pitt was favored by 5.5, and the over and under was 62.5. What's your thoughts on what you saw in that game?
Oh my God. Hey, listen, if Pitt can keep on playing like that, that defense can keep playing like that, them boys got a shot to get into that playoff. Creating turnovers when it's a talent gap, if your defense can create turnovers, that could close the gap on a lot of deficiencies that your team got. So, yeah, man, Kyle McCord, he left the Heisman race that night.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you throw 5 picks, 3 pick sixes, man. And we was high on Kyle McCord at the beginning of the season, but when you do that, you put yourself in a bad situation. And I agree with you on Pitt possibly being able to make the college football playoffs because when you look at their remaining schedule, they go to number 22 SMU, which will be a good contest. Then they at home against Virginia. Then they get Clemson in Pittsburgh. Then they go to Louisville, and then they got Boston College at the end. They got 3 games in there that are going to be very tough. But like you said, whenever you got a defense like they have, it can cover up your offensive deficiencies and you can come out on the winning end of that thing because you play good, solid defense. And I like to see how they're going to come out of that 5 game stretch. And I believe they can definitely go at least 3-2. I would like to see them go 5-0 though, and they possibly could. I think their defense is good enough to beat Louisville. They definitely can beat Boston College. They definitely can beat Virginia. Can they get past 22 SMU in SMU, and can they get past Clemson, which they got Clemson at home, so they might be able to do that.
Yeah. So I mean, 3-2, they ain't getting in.
No,
Cause
they ain't getting in at 3-2. Nope.
how much do they respect the ACC? They only probably gonna let 2 of them guys in. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So if 5-0 though, I think they can punch their ticket. What they got, one loss right now?
they're undefeated.
Oh, they are undefeated. SMU struggled last night, but they played Duke. Duke is a solid team too, so
Yeah,
that'd be a good matchup. Who else you say they got?
they got Virginia, Clemson, Louisville, Boston College.
So they should be favored in all but 2 of them games for real. So
Yeah.
yeah, they can do something with that schedule. They should be able
Oh,
to do
definitely.
something with that schedule for sure. They are undefeated. That's crazy.
The crazy thing about it is, just say for instance, if they say for instance, if they lose to Clemson, but Clemson beats Miami. Now Clemson so Clemson will be undefeated possibly, and then who would they pick between them and Miami to play in that ACC championship game? And both of them got one loss.
You
It'll be the
already
higher
know.
ranked team. The higher ranked team. It'll be Miami. Yeah, because I don't think they're gonna surpass Miami.
Man,
Yeah.
you sure it ain't an analytical thing though? You think they just
It,
going by
it,
the
it,
rankings?
it could be an analytical thing. I had to look at what the ACC got, what their format is. It could
Yeah.
be an analytical thing. I just haven't looked at it. But it could be. Could be. Another game that we was high on because of the playoff implications that it had was number 17 Boise State had 29 at UNLV. UNLV had 24. Boise State was favored by 3.5 and they covered, but the over and under was 64. They didn't get to that 64. What was your thoughts on that game? Because that game has a lot of playoff implications for a group of 5 team to get in there in that one slot that they got guaranteed. What was your thoughts on that game?
Man, that game was physical. That was a super physical game. Hey, I think UNLV, I think they low key discovered the formula for Boise State though. Because when I'm watching the game, I'm just like, man, they selling out on that run. They selling out on that run every trip though. Like that's why um, Genty, he was only averaging like 3.9 yards a carry for the majority of the game. I think he finished somewhere around there too, but they was selling out on that run, man. And that might be the formula, but that quarterback, he definitely made plays when he needed to. So still found a way to win. We around the time of the year though, where you don't gotta get cute with your wins. You just gotta
Yeah.
win.
You just gotta win. You just gotta
Yeah,
win.
it's just that time of the year now, man. As long as you win, you can keep yourself in the position that you want to, and you can control your own destiny.
Yeah. I mean, Saturday slate was full of games, like you just mentioned. You just gotta win. It don't matter how you win, how ugly it look, you just gotta win. And that's the time of the season that it is, that you just gotta win ball games, man. You can't be worried about if it's by 1 point or 3 points and you were supposed to smash the team. So what? You won. That's what you got to be focused on at this point in the season. In that game, man, like you said, that quarterback, he made some timely plays with his legs and a couple of passes that he threw that really helped Boise State win that game, man. Because I thought for sure UNLV was going to get that sucker one because they had the formula for stopping Genty, who had 33 carries for, I think, 129 yards for a 3.9 yard average. He only had one touchdown. But that quarterback, man, he did his thing and willed them to that win on Thursday. And that was, it might have been Friday night. Yeah, Friday night.
Yeah,
So that
yeah.
was to see. Next up, we got number 12, Notre Dame 31 at 24, Navy 13. And Notre Dame was favored by 12.5, and the over and under was 51. So they definitely beat that over, but they didn't cover that spread. It was 14. I'm sorry, I
No,
got
no,
no
no.
30.
The final score was like 50-14 or something on this one. Big Rob. Yeah, Notre Dame jumped out on them boys. They beat them boys into the ground.
Yeah, I got that wrong score in there, I think.
Yeah. They hit the over on the game, and they hit their spread. Man, listen, this is my upset alert pick, so I was tuned in all the way. Hey, I thought Navy might have something for them, but they ain't had nothing for them boys, man.
Yeah, it
They
was
ain't had,
51-14. Yeah.
yeah, they ain't had nothing for them boys, man.
Yeah, you're right. They didn't have nothing. They didn't have nothing for them. But remember when we talked on the show yesterday, we said this was some guaranteed money for somebody. If you was a betting man, put this in your parlay because it was a definite win. You could win some money off that game. And Notre Dame, I believe, was just way too physical for Navy. Navy couldn't contend with that physicality that Notre Dame had.
What's up, Level Up? How you doing?
Yeah, thanks for tuning in, Level Up Sports 10. Next up, we had Oklahoma 14 at number 18, Ole Miss. Ole Miss had 26, but they were favored by 20 and a half points. And the over and under was 48. So they didn't reach the over and under, and Ole Miss didn't cover. Did you get to catch any of that game?
Nah, this is one of my odd games out. I think this is one of the 12 o'clock. Was it 12 o'clock game or 3:30 game? One of them.
It was
One
a
of them
12
slots.
o'clock. It was
Yeah,
a
12 o'clock.
game.
This is one of my odd games out, man. I could flip to it every once in a while, but it was really just to check score and see what was going on. I'm gonna go back and watch that game probably tonight, though. I got it recorded, so I'm gonna try to see what happened in that game probably today.
Yeah, Ole Miss was without their top wide receiver, and that hurt them. But Oklahoma's defense, they played pretty solid, and they came out on fire in the beginning of the game. I think they were up like 14-10 at one point, but then the wheels fell off. Ole Miss went ahead and figured out what they needed to do to pit Oklahoma away, and Oklahoma didn't score on another drive. But Jackson Arnold, he played pretty decent in that game. And I think they should go with him for the rest of the season, even though I believe he's probably going to hit the transfer portal on him. I don't think he's going to stay at Oklahoma, but we'll have to wait and see what he does.
Yeah, I ain't a fan. He can go in the portal. Yeah, I ain't a fan at all.
Right. Next up, we got Washington 17 at number 13. Indiana had 31. They covered that 6.5 point spread, but the over and under was 53.5, and they didn't cover that. What's your thoughts on that game? I thought that game would have been a little closer, but because Indiana's quarterback wasn't playing, the starting quarterback wasn't playing in that game, but Indiana did what Indiana does. What's your thoughts on that one?
Yeah, Indiana is a good football team. I mean, the score didn't surprise me. You said you thought the game would be a little closer. I thought it'd be a little more bit of a difference in that game for real. Because I like the freshman boy they got, or is he a freshman? Whatever he is, but. Now, Indiana's a good team. I'm not a fan. I don't think Washington is that good of a football team. But Washington played a decent game yesterday too, man. And really, honestly, Washington ain't been playing bad since the Michigan week. The game, I think, who did they play 2 weeks ago? I want to say it was Iowa. That game got away from them, but the week before that, when I watched the Michigan-Washington game, I'm just like, this don't even look like the same team. So they got talent on that team. It just, they got to figure out their consistency with it now and get some more maturity with their team. They definitely done had a couple good games that I've seen this year, and then they done dropped some eggs too. So I don't know. Indiana's a problem though, man. As soon as they get what is his name, Rourke. How you say his name?
Yeah.
As soon as they get Rourke back, man, that's just a machine, man. My Buckeyes play them too, man. It's spooky season, man. I don't know. It's spooky season, man. I expect Indiana to jump in the ranking. I'm talking about 9, 8, 9. So that's a tough team, bro. They play good football.
Yeah, they really do play some really good football, and they play tough and physical too, man. And once they get that quarterback, I mean, even though that backup, he played really well too. And I'm anxious to see what he's going to do once he gets his opportunity to run the show in a year or two. But man, I was really impressed with the fact that they stick to what their system is, man, and they don't stray away from that. They play the way they play, and I'm quite sure that coach has a lot of connections with a lot of those lower level schools, that he's going to find some talent, and throughout all of those teams, and he's going to keep building his team that way through the portal. So I expect Indiana to be good year in and year out, as long as that guy is their coach. I can see them staying in the mix every year in the Big Ten.
Man, that coach is serious, man.
Yeah, he sure is. Next up, we got number 20 Illinois 9 at number 1 Oregon 38. Oregon was favored by 21 and a half, and they smashed that. And the
Facts.
over was 54 and a half. They didn't quite reach that 54 and a half. What was your thoughts on this game?
Man, I stopped watching this game in the second quarter. I thought Illinois was going to give them a little, you know what I mean? Whoop, like, they ain't give them nothing, man. I'm just like, bro, at the beginning of the game, Oregon went straight down the field and scored. I'm like, bro, you got to put up more fight, bro. It was way too easy. Like, no negative plays. I don't even think it was an incompletion. Like, come on, bro. Like, y'all got y'all ranking. People be dropping them eggs as soon as they hit them rankings, though, man. It's crazy.
Yeah. Illinois, they didn't put up nothing at all, man. And I'm like, okay, I understand you went all the way out to Eugene, Oregon, but you supposedly the 20th ranked team in the country, and you go out there and you don't even. It's like you didn't even show up. I mean, well, definitely didn't show up. They got beat 38-9, but they didn't show no fight, no nothing, man. It was like it was hard to watch. It was very, very hard to watch. And I watched maybe the first couple of series, and I got up out of there.
Yeah, man. If you're going to lose, the least you want your team to do is got to fight back, bro.
Yeah, you got to fight, man. You got to fight. You definitely got to fight. I know Gerald Carter is super happy that his Oregon Ducks are still undefeated and ranked number 1. And the way they playing right now, man, they really haven't. They played Ohio State, but that really wasn't any adversity because they didn't lose. If they don't have any adversity this season, man, I don't know. They might get into the college football playoff or even in the Big Ten championship game and lay a goose egg, man, because they haven't really been tested yet.
Nah, man. I think they had the adversity though. What they won the Idaho game by 10 points. They squeaked out and beat Boise State, and then the Ohio State game. So I think they done had their little test of their little taste of our backs is against the wall, and I think now that helped them become a better team too. Though, like you need games like that for you to get better. So yeah. I think they actually didn't have what they needed already, and now I think they're really coming into form for real. Like that, yeah. They looked good yesterday, man. From the little bit that I seen, they looked real good. And getting that Ohio State win, then last week I think they blew somebody out, and then this week blowing another team out that was a ranked opponent. Man, them dudes, I think they hitting their stride for real.
Yeah. I mean, everything you said is very valid. It's very, very valid. We'll see what happens as they go on the road and play some of these other games, but we'll see what happens. But what you said is very, very valid. They have had some close games. They had some games where they had to reach down in their soul and pull out some stuff, and they were able to do that. So you might be right that they probably have faced some adversity in these games that they've had so far. Next up, we got number 11 BYU 37 at UCF 24. UCF was favored in this game by 1.5, and the over and under was 55.5. They beat the over, and UCF did not cover. But this was a game we all looked at and said, "What? What was your thoughts on that one?"
Yeah, I seen a little. I was in and out of this game too. But from what I was watching, BYU controlled this whole game. Honestly, UCF had some big plays in that first half, though. It was like, hold up, what's about to happen? You know what I mean? And BYU is a good team, though, man. They got to put some respect on their name by now. You know what I mean? Y'all had them the underdog this week.
They undefeated. What is it? Four or five undefeated teams left. Y'all got they just got to show some respect to BYU, man. And who I think they got SMU. No, they ain't got SMU. No, they already play SMU. I don't know. From when I seen their schedule, I don't think they really got nothing left. So they should end up the year undefeated, in my opinion. From when I looked at their schedule. Um, Let me see if I can.
Yeah,
Hold
I'm
on.
pulling it up right now.
Yeah, let me know who
So,
they got.
so they got Utah, then Kansas, then Arizona State, then Houston. Now they're gonna kill Arizona State. They're gonna kill Houston. I don't know
That,
what Utah gonna give them.
where the
And
game
then
at?
it's in Utah.
That's a tough place to play.
And then they got Kansas, but they got Kansas at the crib. Kansas got to come to Pro Bowl. Wait a minute, did Kansas pull out that win last night against Kansas State?
Nah, man, they got like 5 losses under a touchdown.
Wow.
It could be a whole total different season for them boys.
Yeah, sure could. And I had them as one of my top teams in the Big 12 because they had their quarterback back, but he had a bunch of turnovers early in the season.
Man, I think it's something crazy. Like, I think they 1-6 now from last night, or 2-6 or something like that. Out of their 6 losses, 5 of them is under a touchdown, and one of them is by like 10 points.
Wow. Let me see. Kansas Jayhawks. So they beat their first game. They beat Lindenwood 48 to 3. Then they lost to Illinois 23-17. That's under a touchdown. Then they lose to UNLV 23 to 20.
Mm-hmm.
They lose to West Virginia 32 to 28. Then they lose to TCU. Now TCU beat them by 11, 38-27. Then they lost to Arizona State. Wow, are you serious?
Man,
35-31. They smashed Houston 42 to 14. And then they lost last night 29 to 27. And they play Iowa State in Kansas. Then they play BYU and BYU. Then they play Colorado in Kansas. And then they finish the season on the road at Baylor.
yeah, hey, they got 3 more L's on that.
They got 3 more L's, yeah. They got 3 more L's for sure.
Hey, to lose though, 5 games by under a touchdown, that gotta be deflating, bro. It got
Yeah,
to.
man. Yeah. I know all about that. That's how Texas was Steve Sarkisian's first year, man. We lost like 5 to 7 games by 1 score game.
Man, that hurt.
That hurt. Next up, we got 21 Missouri 0 at Alabama 34. Alabama was favored by 16.5, and they smashed that. And the over and under was 51.5. I guess they expected Missouri to score some points, but they didn't. What's your thoughts on that one?
Man, I kept on trying to get my brother to cut that game off. I was like, bro, I don't want to watch neither one of these teams, bro. I don't know why we got to. I like, hey, Texas is playing over on SEC Network, I think, or something they was playing on. I'm like, bro, we gotta switch this game, bro. Like, I ain't gonna lie to you. When this game came on, I just did some stuff around the house, bro. I wasn't trying to pay attention to this game at all.
Right, yeah. I thought Missouri was going to get him a little better game, but I guess their quarterback either went out hurt or he didn't play in this game. So once that happened, I knew it wasn't going to be no good. So I definitely wasn't even trying to even pay no attention to that game. And they got thumped, man. But I always said before the season started that Missouri was overhyped. They had them ranked high at the beginning, but I knew they didn't have the talent to compete in the SEC the way, even though they had an easy schedule, their schedule was not that difficult. They only have really 2 SEC teams that they really have to face, but they're not any good, man. I think Texas A&M took their heart early in the season, and they ain't been no good since.
Man, you know they got that rating off of beating Ohio State in the bowl game.
Yeah, but I mean, they was playing a depleted Ohio State team. They
Yeah,
only
but
won what was the score, like 6-3 or something?
it was something weird. I don't know, but you know they returned a couple guys on offense, so they was like, oh, maybe they can do something. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, for sure. Next up, we got number 3 Penn State 28 at Wisconsin 13. Penn State was favored by 6.5 and they covered. The over and under was 47.5 and they did not reach that. What's your thoughts on that game?
man, listen, I said yesterday, I like this is gonna be a classic Big Ten game, man. It wasn't it, bro. It was physical. It was back and forth. It was trading punches. It was nobody backing down from nobody, man. That was a great game, bro. I think the difference in the game. So Drew Aller, he he ain't it, man. They put that other dude in. He might need to take the round. You know what I mean? Because when he got in, yeah, when he got in, he could move a little bit. You gotta have a quarterback that can move a little bit. They put him in, bro. That offense started looking a little different, man. So, and I think dude is a true freshman, so they might need to put that dude in and leave him in, man. These true freshmen ain't true freshmen nowadays. I don't believe. I think they play a lot more football than they used to. Like, you know, you go through your high school season, you do 7-on-7s, and also dudes is playing more football and getting more reps. So, man, some of these freshmen yesterday, man, impressed me, man. But really a physical game, defensive game. Wisconsin, they didn't let Tyler Warren get off at all. Like, and he's a problem. Like, Tyler Warren is a problem. They ain't let him get off at all. So that looked like the blueprint. You can slow that guy down. Maybe you can slow them down. So I was impressed with Wisconsin though, man. Like, the quarterback could have played a little better, but man, they showed a lot of dog in them, man. That's a different team than it was a couple years ago. So, yeah, the Big Ten is a couple of these teams that have been on the bottom of the pack the last few years. They looking up and up, man.
Yeah, it definitely looks like Penn State's defense was able to stop their run because their running back had 22 carries for 59 yards for a 2.7-yard average. And usually Wisconsin can run the ball pretty well. So I guess that was where Penn State was able to take advantage of them. But when you look at Drew Allers and their backup quarterback stats, they both had some decent completion rate. But maybe Drew Aller was just missing on some opportunities, man. That's probably why they pulled him.
Man, listen, both of them defenses were playing real well. Like, I don't know what the stats say. What was Drew Aller's stats?
He was 14 for 18 for 148 yards and 1 touchdown. And the other fella was 11 for 13 for 98 yards and a touchdown.
Hey, it didn't seem like he was 14 for 18 nothing though. Like he made a couple good throws, but really they had dude flustered for real. He looked out. Like, they have at halftime. I think they had like 7 at halftime. It was 10-7 at halftime. So
they said Drew Aller got hurt. He got hurt in the game.
Yeah, he hurt his knee or something in like the third quarter. But I think he originally hurt it in the second quarter. He was limping, but he tried to go in the second half and he couldn't go. And then they put the young boy in. But man, listen, that young boy, I'm impressed, bro. I like that young quarterback, bro.
Yeah. And that's what we were talking about earlier about Indiana. Whenever you got a guy that's on your bench, man, that you know is an up and coming player, especially at that quarterback position, man, and you know your team is in good shape because you got a guy that's going to come in when his time comes, and your team is going to be good, man. That's what you got to be able to do. You got to be able to stack quarterbacks on top of quarterbacks, man, if you're ever going to be successful in any football game, whether it be NFL or college, you got to be able to have quarterbacks. Well, mainly college because those guys only play for 4 years. But and it looks like Penn State has that with that backup quarterback that they have. So hopefully, this guy get his turn in a year or two, and he'll be able to ball out. Next up, we got Florida State 14 at number 6, Miami 36. Miami was favored by 20.5 points. And guess what, folks? They covered that 20.5. I didn't think they would. I don't think my man Level Up Sports Tim Maltsberg thought they would. And the over and under was 54.5. And they didn't reach that either. Well, they didn't reach that. What's your thoughts on that game?
Man, listen, bro. Florida State was fighting though, man. I don't care. Like, bro, they was a couple successful fourth downs away from like really making this game closer. You know what I'm saying? And their defense, bro, they Miami ain't no easy offense to stop, bro. Their defense played good for real. They just wore them down for real. You know what I mean? Like when you can't, like I said yesterday, when you can't play complimentary football, it's tough, bro. You need your offense to score some points. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
If they could have scored a couple touchdowns before that first half or before that fourth quarter came, this game could have been different. Like I said, they missed a couple fourth down. Mike Norvell though, he was playing aggressive yesterday, and you ain't got nothing to lose. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
he went for the like around the 50-yard line on fourth down. Like, yeah, that's how you got to show your team a message. But I thought they played as good as they could, man. They were just outmatched, so I thought the game would be closer to it. But they showed the fight that I thought they would show. You know what I'm saying? So they ain't back down. So it was what it was, though.
Yeah, I thought
my bad, Big Rock. Shout out to Cam, man. He got his first reception touchdown yesterday, though.
Oh yeah, yeah. I read that somewhere, but I didn't actually see the play.
Yeah,
but that's good, man. I mean, he right now he's my Heisman Trophy favorite, man. I actually believe that him or Sador is going to be one of the first quarterbacks off the board, man, in the NFL draft right now. But you know how sometimes politics come into play, and we don't get drafted like that. So,
Facts.
but hopefully, those two will be the first two quarterbacks off the board. But I really like what Cam Ward is doing. He can spin that ball. And like you said, Florida State, I mean, they came and fought hard, man. It's hard to stop an offense like that, man, when your offense ain't doing much. Next up, we got number 8 LSU 23 at number 14 Texas A&M 38. Texas A&M was favored by 2.5, and the over and under was 53.5. What's your thoughts on that one?
Man, listen, I picked Texas A&M to win this game, but I ain't know they were gonna send that young boy in there to do it though. Hey, he looked like a problem. Hey, Wigman might need to hop in the portal. Yeah, hey, it's his job now, bro. He looked like he played college football on the game, bro. Like, you know what I mean? He was out there looking like that. And for him to go, I think they said he was 5 for 5. When he came in, he was 5 for 5 at a moment. And they was all touchdowns. Hey, that's a problem, bro. If they keep running with him, they a scarier team, man. They a scarier team. Hey, but I think both teams played pretty decent. LSU's offense, I don't know what it is. They didn't have a good day though. Yeah, but that defense, they still play they tails off. But Texas A&M, yeah, man, that quarterback, bro, Reed, he a problem, bro. Like he's a problem.
Yeah, they played Texas the last game of the season, and I'm like, man, is this dude still gonna be around? Is he gonna be their quarterback? So that we can start the game planning for this dude, because I think
Facts.
with Wigman, they don't have a chance with Wigman. But as we all know, those of us who watch college football, whenever you got a dual threat quarterback, they create so many issues, man, for teams. Teams don't like to play dual threat quarterbacks, especially ones who can play. Now, if a guy is so-called dual threat quarterback and all he can do really is run, that ain't no issue. But a
Right.
guy who can run and throw that football, man, listen, they put pressure on defensive coordinators to try to prepare for them. And I hope that this young man continues to be their quarterback because I think that gives them probably the best chance for Texas A&M to go undefeated until they play Texas the last game of the season. But
Man,
I like the way he looked.
it's gonna be real interesting to see cause we both expect Texas to win out and Texas A&M to win out until they meet each other. It's gonna be real interesting to see what they do with both of them teams with whoever lose that game. Cause I was thinking about this yesterday. Like, if Texas A&M lose and Texas win that game, then they gonna play again in the SEC championship. So what do you do in the college football playoff after they play again and either one of them teams got one loss and the other team got three losses, or they both got two losses?
Say it again. Say it again.
So we expect both of them to win out until they meet each other.
Right.
Texas currently got one loss.
Right.
Texas A&M, they got one loss. So if Texas win that game, that'll be their second loss, but they'll end up meeting again in the SEC championship. So what would they do? What would the college football playoff do if, say, Texas win that game and Texas A&M got three losses now, but they done lost to the same team twice? And then
Well,
if Texas A&M win that game, now Texas got two losses. We're probably gonna have four teams in the SEC with two losses. So what are they gonna do? It's just getting real sticky. I mean, or do they promote somebody? My thought is, like, if Texas A&M lose to Texas twice, do they promote somebody that was sitting at home that wasn't in the SEC championship, that might be a two-loss team in the SEC? Do they promote them for not making the SEC championship and pushing them into the college football playoff, or what's going to happen? Because really, it's still a log jam. Texas A&M is the last undefeated team,
yeah.
so it's really a log jam. If they lose one Texas and then they lose again to them in the SEC championship, how much can you fault them? And yeah, they lost that game in non-conference early in the year, but that'd be three losses. Are you gonna put them in or not? You know what I'm saying? It's real crazy. The committee gonna have a tough job this year.
You know what? I think at that point, like say for instance, the way you're saying it, if it goes that way, both of those teams, Texas and Texas A&M, would be ranked very high because they both would only have one loss. So they would definitely be up in the top 7, I would believe, at that point. And what will probably happen is they'll play that game at the end of the season, and say whoever loses will have two losses at that point, and then it will be advantageous for Texas A&M to lose. If they were to lose, they would still play in that big the SEC championship game. But if Texas lose, Texas might not be in it. But if we go the way you said it, I believe they will still let Texas A&M in if they play in the SEC championship game against Texas and lose, even though they will have three losses. I think that they would not make them fall that far because they lost to which will be considered the best team in the SEC at that point. But I think it'll also be favorable for other SEC teams that only got one or two losses. Well, got two losses as well.
And
So they
that's why
probably will get four teams in.
we gotta figure out the breakdowns, because you saying if Texas lose that game, they you don't think they're gonna make it? because
Yeah,
everybody's
Texas.
gonna have 2 losses by that time. In my
Yeah,
opinion, and from the schedules and how the schedules look, I think everybody's gonna have 2 losses,
yeah,
except for maybe Texas A&M and Texas. I think one of them teams escaped with 1 conference loss. But it's not even sure for Texas to escape with 1 conference loss either. Because I think y'all got, who else y'all got?
we got a bye this week. Then we got Florida at the crib. Then we go to Arkansas. Then we got Kentucky at the crib, and then we go to A&M. So we got 4 games left against Florida, Arkansas, Kentucky, and then Texas A&M.
Yeah, that's one of the better
Yeah,
schedules for the rest of the
yeah,
season in the
yeah.
SEC. So y'all should definitely be able to make it to that final game of the regular season with that 1 loss. But Arkansas ain't no joke either. Like, it's really not no easy games in the SEC, man. It's not. It's just like, unless you got Mississippi State.
Yeah. I mean, the saying is Arkansas hates Texas more than they love themselves. So they give us hell every single time. And we got to go back to them. And the last time we played them in Arkansas, man, listen, they thumped Texas. So Texas wants some get back, but at the same time, them Arkansas players, they're gonna be like, man, listen, this is our Super Bowl, bro. We got to beat the Texas Longhorns, and they're gonna come out and they're gonna play physical, and they're gonna be on their game, man. But I
Man,
think Texas is gonna beat them, but I think it's gonna be a hard fought battle.
that's a good team, bro. I ain't
Yeah.
gonna lie to you. That with Taylor Green, yeah.
Yeah, man. That dual threat that we just talked about. That dude.
Facts.
I'm just glad we got some speed that can contend with that kind of an athlete, man. That's all I'm happy about.
Right.
Yeah. Next up, we got Michigan State 12. They only had 12?
It was something like that. I thought it was 24-10 for real, but it's around that.
Yeah, at Michigan 24. Michigan was favored by 3.5, and the over and under was 40.5. What's your thoughts on that one?
Hey, listen. I like this new coach at Michigan State, man. They like 2 years away, in my opinion. They're like 2 years away, man. A couple times they got in the red zone though, and they just didn't capitalize. They should have won that game, real. Man, but if the Big Ten can get these 2 teams back to where they belong, the Big Ten is a real issue week in and week out, man. These are the last 2 teams I need to get themselves back situated. But these 2 programs, though, they build within. They're not heavy recruiters. They all about player development. So, tough in-state rivalry, though. It was definitely a tough Big Ten game from what I saw. But let me say one more thing. Michigan has no quarterback. If they had a quarterback, they would possibly be undefeated. If they just had a quarterback. They have no quarterback though.
Yeah, it was 24-17, and they did reach the over because that's 41 points. And Michigan did cover that 3.5. I agree with you, man. Michigan does not have a quarterback. They got most of the other pieces. They need to make sure that they do better with their recruiting, their quarterbacks, man. Or at least get somebody out the portal. Now, last year was a different kind of case because Jim Harbaugh held them hostage until the end so he can make sure that they had to hire Sharon Moore. So hopefully this year they do a better job in the portal, and they got to get a fast receiver on the outside, man. They missing that big time. Their receivers aren't that good either because those guys can't get separation. So hopefully those 2 pieces they'll get. They'll always be solid defensively. They'll always be solid on the offensive line, but they need to, and at the running back position, they'll always be solid. but they got to get them some receivers that can take the top off and get them a quarterback. Um, and I think they'll do that in the portal this year and in recruiting too. But that guy got to get developed first.
Agreed.
Next up, we got Cincinnati 23 at Colorado 34. Colorado was favored by 6.5, and the over and under was 57. So they hit the over right on the button.
Right.
Which means now if you were to bet the over and it's the same, it's 57-57, do you win or you lose?
Nah, you win. You just gotta get to the number.
Oh, you just gotta get to the number. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Hey, when you bet the over under on DraftKings or something, it's like a timeline, and as the points get scored, it just move up. Hey, at the end of the game, it either go green or red. Once you hit your points, though, go green, and you don't won your bet though. But you just gotta get to the number, the exact number.
Okay. Wow, that's interesting. What you think about that game right there?
Man, it's so fun watching Shedeur. Hey, that's my second team for real. Like, I got my Buckeyes, but I'm always going to tune into that Colorado game. You know what I mean? Them dudes are just exciting, bro. Hey, but Cincinnati came to play. You know? Hey, it's a little bit in me that always root for Ohio. So it's like, them boys, they came to play, though. They were going at Colorado. And he just a ball to watch, man. Like, and Travis, he did his thing. That touchdown right before the half is what hurt Cincy though. It's 12 seconds left, and Colorado got the ball. And out of all the dudes on the field, they left Travis open. I'm like, bro, what are y'all doing, bro? You had two dudes on him. He just wide open though. Like, oh my God. I'm just like, man, y'all just shot yourself in the foot, man.
Yeah, I didn't get to catch any of that game. Like I said, I went to bed after that Texas A&M, but I did see that Colorado was winning at that point when I did see the score go across, but I didn't get to watch any of it. But I'm gonna go back and watch at least the highlights and see how that game went. But you're right, man. Shedeur and that Colorado team. I think I ain't gonna say everybody in the country that watch college football, but just about everybody in the country, they follow Colorado, man, because they want to see what Prime and Shedeur and Travis Hunter and them are going to do. I mean, you can't be a real fan of college football and not. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Whether you root for them to fail or you rooting for them to be successful, you're going to tune into them, man. And I'm always trying to watch their highlights, even when I can't catch their late games. So I'm going to do that at some point today. But I'm glad that they won. I really wish they would have beat Kansas State, man, because they were really, and I mean, there's still time. I really want to see them get in that Big 12 championship game, man. I really do. So I hope that somehow it happens. And I'm telling you, in the Big 12, it always happens, man. Something fluky always happens. And the team that wasn't supposed to get in there, according to the metrics, they end up getting in anyway, man. And I'm hoping that's what happens, and Colorado can get in there and play against either Iowa State or BYU, because I think they could be either one of them teams, because offensively, man, they're going to give both of them fits.
Well, what I did see on the screen yesterday when I was watching the game, Kansas State and Iowa State still play each other.
Yeah, they still play each other.
So somebody got to knock somebody off in that game, and then if the other lose, they can. If they win out, they only got one loss in the Big 12.
Oh yeah, okay. Well, we need Kansas State to lose then. Even though Kansas State got the head over Colorado, if Colorado win the rest of their games and Kansas State got them 2 losses, and then we need something to happen with BYU. You know, it's possible, man. It's possible.
Ain't nothing happening with BYU. They gonna win the rest of their games. You just need something to happen to Iowa State and Kansas State for real. Then, like I said, one of them they play each other, so one of them got to lose again. you would prefer that to be Iowa State because then they have one loss in the Big 12.
Yeah, because BYU, you want it to happen to Iowa State and Kansas State. Because BYU, I can't see them losing none of these games, man.
Yeah, it's slow for that. They ain't
Yeah,
losing again.
wow, BYU is about to go undefeated, bro.
Man, it's crazy, ain't it? That's a good football program, though. They've been a good football program for years.
Yeah,
This ain't no fluke. You know what I mean? I
right,
just
right.
think I just think they done hopped in the Big 12 at the perfect moment, though.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I didn't think that the Big 12 was going to let them in, but I think once they realized that Oklahoma and Texas was going to be able to get out, they had to go get somebody, and they were able to get Cincinnati and BYU a year before the Pac-12 crushed or fell apart.
Yeah, whatever team out of there get into the playoff, I hope they do well though, because I don't want it to just be the Big Ten and SEC, because and is the ACC they only gonna have one or two teams a year. We need at least one more conference that can.
Yeah,
And,
man,
and
check out. No, go ahead, finish.
no, what was you saying?
Check out Iowa State's remaining schedule, bro. Now Texas Tech ain't great, but they're gonna swing that ball. They got Texas Tech, they got Kansas. They go to Kansas. They got Texas Tech at home now. Then they got Cincinnati at home. Then they go to Utah, and then they finish the season at home against Kansas State.
Hey, that's tough.
That's tough.
That is tough because
That's
Kansas, we
tough.
just went over their schedule. They lose every game by a touchdown, so we're gonna assume
Right,
that's
right.
gonna be a good game. Cincy, they get after it, and they played a good game last night. You got to go at Utah. You said right?
They got to go to Utah. Yeah,
That's always tough playing at Utah. They don't lose in Utah. Don't lose at Utah often. So, and then Kansas State, I think they got. I think they got the best quarterback, the second best quarterback in the conference. So, yeah, that's tough. That's real tough.
but look at Colorado's remaining schedule. They got Texas Tech at Texas Tech. They're fans, man. Texas Tech's fans, man, they nuts. That's gonna be a tough environment, man. That's
Facts.
gonna be a tough environment, bro. They are nuts. You're gonna see tortillas all over the place. That's all they do all day. Throwing tortillas out there on the field. Then
Oh
they go,
man.
then they got Utah at home. Then they got Kansas at Kansas. And at that time of the season, man, that Kansas weather be crazy. The winds be swirling. It could be rainy, tornado season. It's nuts. And then they finish the season at home against Oklahoma State. I
Okay.
can see them. I can see them running the table on that one, man. I really can.
Yeah, them first two, man, that's tough still.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. They're going to have to come to play, man.
Yeah.
They're going to have to come to play. Let's see what
All
Kansas
the
State
eyes.
got left.
Yeah, I think it's over for all the two loss teams in the Big 12.
Oh yeah. Oh, Kansas State, they got a cupcake schedule, man. They got Houston, Arizona State, Cincinnati, and then the last game they play Iowa State at Iowa State. But all we need is for them to lose against Iowa State. That's all we need. And if Colorado can win out, and
Yeah.
then no, but we need Iowa State to lose one of them games, two of them games. I don't know, man. It's crazy, man. It's going. We're gonna have to wait and see what's gonna happen, man.
Yeah, I
It's
gotta
gonna be
look up
crazy.
tonight what the tiebreakers is and stuff, man. Because
Yeah.
now it's getting around that time. Like, I need to know: is it a point thing? Is it a head-to-head thing, or how they do it?
Yeah, I'm gonna look into it too, and see what's going on with it.
I bet you it's some super complicated stuff though. It ain't
Yeah,
just
I
gonna
bet.
be.
Oh, I bet. That's
Yeah,
probably
it ain't
700 pages long.
Yeah, it ain't gonna just be who ranked higher. It's gonna be some super complicated stuff, bro.
Yeah. Did we already talked about that LSU? We talked about that already, didn't
Yeah.
we? All right. Next up, we got number 5 Texas 27 and number 25 Vanderbilt 24. Texas was favored by 18.5, and they didn't get nowhere near that. The over and under was 51.5. They was right at 51. What's your thoughts on that one?
Man, I think y'all boys need a quarterback switch, man. I'm one of the dudes that I be like, if it's close between your quarterbacks, you go with the younger guy. I think he added a different dimension to y'all's offense. Y'all ain't play y'all's football yesterday. I don't think. Um, Sark, he gotta figure it out. He gonna figure it out though. I'm a believer in Sark. So Vandy is a good football program though. They done put their name on it this year. So, um, but that defense still looked like that defense though. So y'all can always hang y'all's hat on that, if anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As long as y'all don't turn the ball over, y'all should be able to hang y'all's hat on that defense for sure.
Yeah. Vanderbilt is scrappy, bro. They are scrappy. Listen, they not going anywhere. As
Facts.
long as they got Pavia at quarterback, they're going to make some things happen. Their defense was much better than what I thought it was going to be. They figured out something from that Georgia game that, listen, you can blitz Texas and not even have to give away the blitz up the middle, and you can get to Quinn Ewers, man. And I think they sacked him 4 or 5 times yesterday that way. The running backs was missing. The blitz package coming up the middle. And then you also had the center and the left guard wasn't communicating well, and those guys was getting to Quinn Ewers quite a bit, man. And that's what teams are going to do the rest of the season against Texas. They're going to blitz Quinn Ewers every opportunity they get, and they're doing it in such a way that it's not giving away too early to where he can hit the hot route quick or call a play that's to the hot route. I don't know, but they need to get that fixed. The offensive line had way too many holding calls that was killing drives. I was like, man, we probably could have won that game 40-something to 10. Offense jacking up. Then defensively, we get it's 4th and 8, I think it was, and we get a pass interference call, and then they ended up getting another 4th down play and scored a touchdown on that 4th down play. He threw the ball between like 3 defenders. I'm like, dude, ain't none of y'all knocked that ball down? And then we get the late penalty on freaking Vernon Broughton, roughing the passer on a 4th down play that we intercepted the ball and almost ran it back. Well, we ran it back for a pick 6. Kobe Black, that got called back because this dude want to hit the quarterback. I'm like, dude, the ball already out of his hand. Leave it alone. That killed things. But like I said, man, they're going Vanderbilt. They scrappy. You get them opportunities.
Y'all down y'all best 2 receivers though. So
yeah,
man, listen, this you know what I noticed since the Georgia game too. Like, bro, y'all gotta get what is it, Jaden Blue? Y'all gotta get him the ball in space more, man. When he touched that ball, he is dynamic, dog. And that's your second running back, though. You know what I'm saying? So I been down two of y'all best receivers. We already what happened? What happened to Wingo? What happened to him?
No, Wingo he played a little bit yesterday.
Yeah, I'm saying what happened though. Like, was he hurt?
No, that's Isaiah Bond that's hurt. That's
no,
out.
I'm saying like Wingo, he just didn't look like himself.
He didn't. You're right. I don't know.
Was it an injury on him or like I don't know, bro. He just didn't didn't look like himself out there. That's what I'm saying. Like I don't know.
He didn't. I was looking at some of his routes that he was running, and he was like kind of ginger on some of them routes, man. And I'm like, and we didn't even do a reverse to him, which
Yeah,
almost says maybe there's something going on with him. And they're just not saying. That's Steve Sarkisian is good for that, man. Um,
yeah,
but I wonder what's up with Jonte Cook, because Jonte Cook hasn't played the last two games, and then against Oklahoma, he only played 4 plays, and he started the season as a starter out there on the field, man. So losing Cedric Baxter at the beginning of the season with that ACL, and he tore another ligament in his knee too, because he's our best pass blocker at the running back position, and he's our between the tackles runner. Losing
yeah,
him really hurt us. So now we got to make sure that we can get Jaden Blue in space. Jaden Blue was our running back one, but he was fumbling too much. Against Mississippi State, he had 2 fumbles, so he got demoted. Now we're going with Trey Wiseman, who was really a really nice running back, but man, like you said, you get Jaden Blue in space, dude, he making folks miss, and he got some speed.
yeah. He got to clean that fumbling issue up. That'll
Yeah, you
that'll
got to clean
definitely
that
get
up.
you off the field.
Right. Yeah, you got to clean that up. But overall, I was just glad, like you said, man, you just got to win. And I'm glad we got put out that win, man, because it got
Facts,
scary towards the end.
facts.
Last one of the day, we got Nebraska 17 at number 4, Ohio State 21. Ohio State was favored by 25 and a half, and the over and under was 48 and a half. I'm going to go first on that one. I'm going to let you finish up with your Buckeyes. I just think Nebraska got smashed last week, and they figured, man, we cannot go into the shoe and play like that, man. And I think they played really, really well. Um, the thing I loved the most about Ohio State was they made sure they was not going to let Dylan Raiola just sit back there and pick them apart. They were sending all kinds of stuff at him, and it was effective because Nebraska had some opportunities that Ohio State just took away from them because they were making sure they got pressure on Dylan Raiola. And I like the fact that Ohio State did that. And teams are going to have to prepare for the fact that Ohio State can send some blitzes because they got talent that can get to you. I'm glad that they pulled that game out. They got to figure out something with Will Howard though. He's gonna have to start competing a little bit better. And they didn't run the ball as well as I thought they would against Nebraska. But at this time of the season, the thing is just win and move on. What's your thoughts on that game?
Man, we have a glaring issue, and it's a problem. I'm nervous, bro. With Josh Simmons going out last week for the year, I thought we'd have a next man mentality, man. We do not have a left tackle. It's a problem, bro.
Oh,
They're gonna have to mix and match, man, throughout this week and figure it out before we go into Penn State, bro. Because I counted 10 times, and I ain't even rewatched the game yet. I counted 10 times. The left tackle got beat before he got injured, and he out now. So we ended up moving Donovan Jackson to left tackle, and he's the All-American left guard. So, man, listen, bro, we have a problem, bro. Will Howard played a great game yesterday to me. I think we tried to run the ball too much, and we don't have we got an offensive line issue. We were supposed to spread that thing out and air it out. Um, Bro, we got a major offensive line problem right now, though, man. We got to figure something out, or we gonna lose into Penn State. If we do not figure out that offensive line this week, it's a problem, bro. We couldn't block nothing yesterday.
yeah.
My defense looked good though.
Oh yeah.
That's the reason why we won the game. Shit, we get into the fourth quarter. They got to the goal line. We stuffed them on the 1 yard line. If they punch that touchdown in though, that's a different ball game, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Yeah, we gotta figure something out though, man. Hey, everything always come back to recruiting though. I've been calling for our offensive line coach's head for a long time because he do not get the recruits in there that he's supposed to be getting, bro. Like our backup left tackle, he's a senior, a red shirt junior or something. The dude that got injured yesterday, he should
Right.
not look that bad. He should not look
Right.
that bad. And The next dude is a freshman. He a twin brother. He a twin brother. He from Ohio. He like 6'7", 320 though. Why y'all ain't try this guy though? Like
Yeah.
going through the game, dude ain't get hurt until like later on in the game. We should have tried this guy. He's 6'7", 320. I mean, let's see what he got. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I think Ohio State got a real player development problem for real. Like, I was just talking to my brother about this yesterday. Like, we got these dudes. A lot of them, they go to the NFL, like Jonathan Cooper, Pete Warner, these dudes, and they get drafted and they turn into something else in the NFL. And you be like, man, where was that when you was at Ohio State? So,
yeah.
man, I'm like real on the edge, bro. Like, I'm about ready to get rid of my whole coaching staff, honestly.
Yeah, and I think that's what it comes down to, man. Whenever your players are not getting developed at the level that you know they should be, especially being at the Ohio State University, it usually comes down to the guys on the coaching staff. And I know early when Tom Herman was at Texas, that's what our issue was. We had guys that were 5-star players that get to Texas and be some bums, but then the NFL would get them as free agents, and they make the team. I'm like, dude, this dude made an NFL team, and he was a bum for us, but it was because they weren't being developed properly, man. And I agree with you, man. Ohio State has to get that fixed because they're gonna always get the cream of the crop coming out of high school. They just got to fix that part of their development because those guys got a lot of talent, man. And I was glad they pulled that win out yesterday. It was looking kind of scary there for a minute, though.
Hey, you think we get the cream of the crop everywhere but the offensive line?
Oh, okay.
And that's the truth. And that's why people been calling us soft in the Ryan Day era, because we ain't been able to really close on them top 5 4-star offensive linemen, man. Like, and this the thing too. We have a problem with national recruiting. We want the numbers to look good. Bro, it's more than enough talent in Ohio. We're only taking 5 guys out of Ohio every year. I think we need to get back to like Jim Tressel days and pull in 12. You know what I mean? Go get the other 15 from somewhere else. But yeah, you gotta go get your speed guys down in Florida. You definitely gotta stay in Cali, and you definitely gotta go to Texas. But man, we don't like the offensive lineman that's in Ohio. Usually Notre Dame and Michigan is pulling them guys out. So I don't know, man. We got to figure something out on that offensive line. Though our offensive line, really, it's a question every year, and then boom, they do something. They make some magic happen. I guess they coaching them up enough for us to be where, you know what I mean, to be on that top level still. But we're still not pulling the guys we need to be pulling at all. Like we got, even in this recruiting class, I think we got 2 offensive linemen that's committed. That's not enough. You got to have them bodies in the trenches. You have to.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I mean, we'll have to wait and see, man. Hopefully they get that issue fixed at that left tackle position, because you're going to get some really good teams down the stretch. I mean, you got Penn State next week. Then you got Indiana in a couple of weeks. And then you finish the season against Michigan, who we know Michigan's defense is always going to be solid. I don't think they're going to give Ohio State much of a game, but defensively they're going to be all right.
Hey, listen, anything goes in a rivalry game.
Yeah, anything. You're right. Yeah, you're right about that.
I ain't underestimating nobody at this point. I just want to win and go home.
Right, exactly. All right, bro. Well, I appreciate you jumping on with me this morning, man. I didn't have to do it all by myself because I know my man Level Up Sports 10. He's at work this morning, and then City League TV T1. He's out of town, so you know I'm glad you was able to jump on with me this morning, man. I appreciate you, Zaya.
Yeah, I'm about to head into work right now myself.
Oh yeah, you got to go in there and do some things.
Yeah, you know, Sunday, I always got to go in on Sunday, couple hours.
Oh, okay.
So,
Okay, cool,
All right.
cool.
All
All
right,
right,
big
well, I'll
bro.
see you tomorrow morning at the job, bro.
Yes, sir.
All right. Peace.